Hello and welcome back to a Total War Warhammer replay. I am playing the Dark Elves versus my friend Monkeybot as Bretonnia. So in the front lines here, I've got Dread Spears. I went with 4 Dread Spears, basically just in case my opponent goes mass cavalry against me. You know, having 4 Dread Spears with all that anti-large is pretty decent. But yeah, I mean, like, it was there to hold the front line. But they won't win against some of the Bretonian units' Foot Squires. Foot Squires will beat them in a fight. Is it Foot Squires? Yeah, Foot Squires will beat them in a fight, but of course I prepared for that as well. So, yep, Dread Spears in the front line. I did take a Reaper Bolt Thrower, just in case he took some artillery, because of course they have catapults, and of course bolt throwers can trade very effectively. Well, they beat catapults, so that's why I took them. On the sides here, I took Dark Shards with shields, of course, in case he has what are they called? Peasant Bowmen, yep, with fire arrows, or well, that's basically what he's taken, you know, Peasant Bowmen. These guys should be able to trade efficiently with them, but also they can, you know, shoot at cav, they have armor-piercing missiles, so pretty decent, and they're shielded, so that's going to be good. In the back line here, I did also take Harkonneth Executioners, so this was in case he took Foot Squires, because these guys would be able to kill any Foot Squires he took. Of course, I've got to protect them, but if he takes Foot Squires, these guys will basically do good work against them. My Lord, wherever the fuck he is, oh yeah, he's over here on the side here. My Lord is Lockhear Feltheart. He's not on his dragon, unfortunately. But yeah, he has some pretty nice abilities. He has Helm of the Kraken, which regens him and gives him +9 melee attack. He's also got a Hex that's constant around him, giving him -4 leadership, which this is part of my plan as well. This was part of my plan against Bretonnia. So he has -4 leadership to anything around him, which is good, okay? And we'll go back to that in a second. He also has Dreaded Duelist, so of course he gets +26 melee attack and +27 melee defense, so really good. And of course he's got Deadly Onslaught, but he's got some real nice abilities that let him do well. I've also got a Cold One Chariot here. These were in case they go more Foot Squires against me, or go quite wide with Foot Squires. I've got some Cold One Chariots just in case I need to bring that. And in the back here as well, this was my main way of dealing with the cavalry of the Bretonnia. So I took a Carabus. Now, Carabuses are pretty decent against races that have weak leadership, and of course that's Bretonnia. So stacking this guy's ability, which is the Abyss Howl, which is -8 leadership, plus that with my Lord's ability, which is the which one is it? Where are you? Here we go. His Merciless Slaver, yeah. That basically means that -12 leadership is going to be when these two are next to each other. So that's pretty fucking good. I also had Chill of Sotar, I think, the War Hydra, the Regiment of Renown one. It has, it has armor piercing. It's got this, the Frost Breath, and I thought this would be more useful, but you'll see how it does in this game. For my opponent, Monkeybot, he had some pretty interesting stuff. So Green Knight here in the forest, not a bad pick, of course. Green Knight in the forest here. He's going to be, of course, regenning in the forest, so he's just so fucking good. He does magical attacks, he has really good stats, he can basically 1v1 anything in the game and pretty much win. Well, not saying that, but he's decent. In the front lines here, he's got Peasant Mob, that's understandable, just to chaff up some stuff. He's got Men-at-Arms, which is also very good. He's then got 2 Peasant Bowmen with Fire Arrows, which is understandable, that's to take down any of my units as well. It's pretty good against War Hydras, of course, because they have regen. And he's got Spearmen at Arms with shields, 2 of those. And in the back here, I believe it's 2 Questing Knights. Yes, 2 Questing Knights. And then he also has a Damsel of Life. So, of course, he's got the Earthblood he's got. Let me just check what he's got very quickly. Yep, Earthblood. He's also got the Scroll of Shielding. Yeah, so he's also got Power Stones, so giving those Winds of Magic up. And for his Lord, he's got King Leocaire. I can't say his name. Shit! Stupid French words. But he's got some nice abilities. He's got the Lion's Shield, basically makes him really tanky. He's also got the Sword of Cronon. Cronon? Yeah, I think that. -27 melee defense, -30 armor. Really good at sniping some lords. But he's got so many abilities. You know, regen, just so much good stuff. But anyway, let's get right into this battle. So I saw my opponent. I saw what he had. We both sort of like we were sort of talk. Well, actually, we weren't talking through this game. Actually, no, we were talking a bit through this game. Oh yeah, and I've forgotten. Over here, he does have some Questing Knights over here as well. So he had 3 Questing Knights this entire game. So I didn't see those though. So they are hidden from me. So that was a good movement. But basically, we start sort of lining up here. Oh shit! Not gonna do that. So we basically start lining up here. Oh my god! Why am I fucking? Okay, I'm sorry. Let's get straight back into it. So we start. I'm just gonna fast forward a little bit because we just started lining up here. This takes a few seconds. But right. So I do spot his Green Knight. His Green Knight does start coming for my Cold One Chariots here. But of course, I have my Lord nearby. And I was thinking, oh yeah, don't worry, look, he'll do pretty well against the Green Knight. But then I thought, fuck, actually, No, he won. A big chunk of health already out of fucking Felheart, and, you know, that's bad. So I have my Dread Spears coming in to back support. I also have these guys here. My Bolt Throwers over here shooting into his catapults as well. That was something I wanted to get rid of very quickly because catapults can be a problem for my infantry. But yeah, I'm 1v1ing his Green Knight here. Probably not a good fight for me though, but I had the Dread Spears here. Now he starts to fall back here, and of course the thing about the Green Knight is it doesn't have much mass. So I brought in the Cold One Chariots here to try and hold him down. Sort of, as you can see, I brought him in there. These guys will actually keep him in place here really decently. That gave me time to get Felheart up here and the Dread Spears. But he was kind of panicking at this point, and he did need to get his Lord out of here really quickly. But luckily, he does able to break free, and I'm pretty sure the Green Knight can outrun any of my units. So he got back. Over here, he's still bringing around his questing knights coming around the side here, so that was a very smart move by him. But I'm sort of just repositioning right now. We're sort of feeling each other out and learning what units we have. But over here, I'm actually doing really well. So already, I've taken down already one of his failed trebuchets, and I'm still doing a good amount of damage. So basically, the Bolt Thrower, it's basically getting its money's worth right now, just taking out this trebuchet. But the Green Knight, I was bringing out my Cold One Chariots here, but the Green Knight does spot this and starts moving back in, so I knew that this guy could easily take out models on this chariot, so I wanted to bring them back as quick as possible. But I brought the Carabus in here just in case the Green Knight starts to get a little bit cocky with his green penis and tries to come in here. So basically the Carabus is like, nah mate, you better start fucking off out here, otherwise I'm going to fucking eat you with my 7 mouths. But yeah, I got the Dread Spears coming in. Does charge in. He does get a little nice charge there. But I mean, he understood that he was overextending here, so he starts to sort of fall back over here. He does start to bring his questing knights over here. And now this is something that I really do need to focus on. Basically, I need to watch for units coming in my backline. I just don't expect it. I usually check once, and then I just don't check again. It's something I've really got to improve in. But over here, Dark Shards with shields, they start shooting into his peasant mob. And also I've got these Dark Shards here shooting to the Green Knight. Of course he does have regens, probably not the best target. But King Luen is coming over, which is obviously, he's just coming over to scout. I think he's trying to see if I've got anything hiding. But I've got the Witch Elves as well, and of course the plan is if he brings any cavalry in, the Witch Elves can cause rampage, and it's pretty smart. These Dark Shards still shooting into his Lord, probably not the best target, and of course shooting into the Green Knight. But you see, I wanted to get early damage on these guys, try and bait out the Damsel of Life's heals. But his Peasant Bowmen are just wrecking my Dark Shards over here. But over here, he does get a real nice spot. Now this is, of course, a big mistake by me. He does get his Questing Knights here right into my Rage Charge. They get a lovely back charge here into my fucking Bolt Thrower here, and it basically, as you can imagine, it just completely, I mean, look at the charge, beautiful, just checking out all these models, look at the health just drop off these guys, so we get some nice damage there. Big charge coming in here. I do see this though, so I start bringing the Witch Elves over and the Carabus to deal with that. His Green Knight, he's still, you know, watching for my Cold One Chariots. He is holding off here, he's smart, he's watching them, he's not letting me get in there very quickly. At this point, though, I did see that his Peasant Bowmen are just doing so much damage to my front line, so I want to get them as quick as possible, so I start stunning the Dread Spears in, start just clearing up the Peasant mob. But, yeah, he's still fighting over here. He does start to bring his Questing Knights back, but they get a little bit stuck here, and that causes problems for him. But, of course, King Luen is also coming in here, which is pretty scary. I do see King Luen coming in, and I didn't have any protection for my for Mr. Felheart here, so this was a bit worrying. He does pop his buffs in here, and he drops in, and he does miss the charge. Luckily, I did see that coming, so I did dodge, and I send the Hagenef Executioners in just to sort of tie him up and deal with him. But over here, we do get a really nice engagement here. So the Witch Elves actually do cause these Questing Knights to rampage. So the Carabus, the Dread Spears, as you can see here, rampage, really good for me. So that's basically a Questing Knight free for me. Of course, it did cost the claw there. The Bolt Thrower, but it was a worthy engagement. Getting those Questing Knights offline, securing my backline was really good. Over here, the War Hydra did use a breath attack on the Green Knight, but it didn't do much damage. Surprisingly, even though it's magical attack, it didn't do much damage to the Green Knight, which, I mean, that's just unlucky. But he starts to bring his cavalry forward. He's still got all this, you know, stuff in the back line here. I'm sending in my Dread Spears here. And I'm sending in my Cold One Chariots as well to sort of deal with that. But, I mean, his Questing Knights are coming through, going straight for my Dark Shards. You see, he's also got King Luen in my backline sort of fiddling around here. So that was pretty scary. So, yeah, his Questing Knights are coming in here, sending them both for the same unit. So I was having to worry about that. Does get a nice rear charge on my Dark Shards, which is unfortunate. But I have the War Hydra coming in here, and he's about to get some nice damage on these Questing Knights. I also got some Dread Spears coming back to support. But King Luen is just fucking hunting down my Lord. He was really determined just to try and snipe my Lord in this fight. So he comes down, he does charge into the Hagenef Executioners, and now I saw my opportunity here. So, as you can see, this was really risky by him. Okay, now, granted he has these questing knights here, then they're being tied up. His peasant bowmen, of course, here are sort of shooting as well, and he's still got all these nice units back here. But I'm tying up a bit of his front line here with these chariots as well. They're sort of dealing with him. They are fighting against spin arms, which is not good for them, but they're sort of distracting him. And this is where the sort of good moment happened, okay? So, I can understand he was trying to get rid of the Hagen of Executioners, but I have, of course, my lord here. I have the Witch Elves coming in, which of course can cause rampage, and I have the Carabis coming in. So I was thinking, okay, this might be my one chance to sort of snipe down King Lewin here. But he does sort of pull out here. He does sort of to manage just to get out here. And but I have all these Witch Elves here, all these good units here, ready to deal with. I mean, look, basically, he's got a tiny bit, you know, quite a valuable bit of his army here, fighting a big chunk of my army. So basically, I send the Witch Elves in. I do believe they just catch. Yep, so they do set one of these questing knights rampage, which is so good. So they, you know, they're fighting against Dread Spears now. My Carabis, which is just going in and eating everything. And my lord, of course, is in here, and all that minus leadership is so good. It just makes things, you know, rout so quickly. He does then start shooting into my War Hydra, which is actually a really good move since these do fire damage, and this is has weak to fire because it's regen, of course. These Dread Spears over here just get rear charged, which was pretty bad. But they're still fighting. They're still fighting decently. He still has some good stuff in reserve. He still has some spearmen at arms in reserve and some men at arms. But I'm feeling pretty confident now. I've got a pretty, you know, decent secure my back line here. I'm re-getting the Dread Spears back in the front line. We do actually get a questing knight fully to rout, which is really nice. I've got my lord here now still protected by Witch Elves and the Hagen of Executioners. I still wanted to keep them in reserve. I was sending the War Hydra into the forest here just to ignore the Bowman's fire because they were doing so much damage. I mean, the Peasant Bowman with fire, really good here. Then I do start sending the War Hydra over here back into these questing knights because, of course, that leadership penalty is just so damn good. It really just makes a difference. I don't get the charge off, which is unfortunate, but basically the leadership just does it on its own. But yet King Lewin is still looking around. He does cast an Earthblood here on his questing knights, keeping them alive, understandable. And he's also playing really smart here. Now this is something that a lot of people don't do. Monkeybot, what he's doing here, he's keeping the Green Knight in the forest and just letting him regen. He doesn't need to bring him out until actually he does need him. And why the Green Knight is not really worth doing anything right now. Just keeping him in the forest and getting his health back up, so good. Really smart play by him. King Lewin still flying around though. We do get this questing knight sent off. And we do have my Carabas now fighting some men at arms, which he'll win that engagement, which is nice. He'll just, you know, probably cause them to fear. But the Peasant Bowman's still online, shooting into my back line here, and you know, they were causing a real problem. I do then send the War Hydra over here. I do believe I'm trying to get him onto the Green Knight again, but you see, I'm just securing my black line here. I didn't want, because I knew he was going to try and snipe Felhar, and I didn't want that to happen. So, setting the Dread Spears up again, trying to get on his cavalry, but yet again, it's not happening. But here we go. King Lewin coming right in. I saw this coming though, and I do pop Foe Seeker to try and dodge the charge. I believe I just managed to dodge that charge. Or maybe I didn't actually. No, I think he did get that charge here. And then he starts to buff all of his... He starts to use all of King Lewin's buff here. Stand your ground. Foe Seeker. Really trying to get him. But I saw this coming, okay? So I had the Carabas coming in, using its giant mass to completely just push off King Lewin here. But I also had the Hagen of Executioners coming in. Probably not the best target, but I really wanted to get King Lewin down. But luckily, he does sort of run out here. He does manage just to get back away. He does send his spearmen in, trying to get back on my Carabas. But I'm just like, no, I've got the Hagen Executioners here. But the Peasant Bowman still shooting in here, which is just really annoying. So this is what I did. I realised that, of course, I can't win this engagement just by sitting back here. I have to use some unit to get in the front line here. So I decided to send the War Hydra here. And this basically, the War Hydra can pretty much fight anything around here. Other than the Spearmen, he's actually going to do really good value for money over here. So, the War Hydra starts fighting the Questing Knights. I start then sending him onto the Bowman, which is really good. Because the Peasant just doing so much damage to my Carabas. So, I needed to get the War Hydra directly on the War Hydra. I start sending them after the Peasant Bowman, which is really good. I think he's just scaring off my units here. Spearmen come in here and just, men at arms, spearmen at arms. Just fight Hagen of Executioners. They're going to lose that instantly. And with the leadership buffs again, really bad. Hagen of Executioners then charging into men at arms. I mean, they're just going to win that engagement as well. But the Peasant Bowman's still shooting back into this War Hydra. And I mean, it's going to tank a lot of this, but it's not the best engagement for me. Because I didn't really know what to do here. Because if I said, okay, so this was good for him. He gets a nice charge here. Does he actually miss it? Okay, no, he actually gets the damage. So I saw this coming. Well, I didn't see this coming. He gets a nice little attack on Felhart here, but the Witch Elves are nearby, okay? I literally send the Witch Elves in ASAP here. I thought, okay, if we can get King Lewin now to rampage, I can have him. So I get the Carapace back, I get the Dread Spears coming in here, I've even got Felheart in here just to make sure that leadership is happening as well, and I literally go balls deep now. I send everything round here on Felheart, hoping that it's basically going to pay off for me. This War Hydra in the back here, still doing some nice damage, fighting against Spearmen though, so I had to change that, but I was too distracted over here. But King Lewin in a really bad situation here. He does start sending his men-at-arms here to come and do a beer charge on me, but as I say, this was so good. So King Lewin gets rampaged here. Really, really nice for me. I was thinking, okay, balance of power is in his favour. If I can bring this back, if I can kill Lewin easily. Look at King Lewin's leadership drop. It's going down so quick. He's taking so much damage. He does then send the Green Knight in here to back up, and he does cast an Earthblood here, trying to keep King Lewin alive at all costs here. And, you know, this was kind of scary. I think this literally could have turned the tide of battle here. Carapace still doing a nice amount of damage. King Lewin about to break, doing so much damage. He does cast an Earthblood though. But unfortunately, the one thing I was missing in this was either Frost from that War Hydra over there, or Poison. If I had Poison, then this would have been actually really good. But we're doing so much damage to King Lewin. We're still doing so good damage over here. Over here, my Hargonef Execution is still fighting two men-at-arms and Spearmen-at-arms. They're just going to win that matchup easily. They get so... I mean, look, already on 152 kills. Doing so nice. And this War Hydra over here on 46, keeping these arrows busy. Over here, though, King Lewin, I believe, does get away. Where's King Lewin gone? Yep, so King Lewin does get away, lucky for him. He actually does pop the Scroll of Shielding, so he gets that damage resistance off. Well played to him. But over here, we do rampage these Questing Knights, fighting into Dread Spears again. And you see, the thing is, this tactic, I'm going to use this tactic maybe against Skaven, because it's actually really fucking good. That minus 12 leadership really makes a difference. Like, just all the Bretonnian units just start, like, you know, routing as soon as they get into combat. The Green Knight over here, he is fighting some Witch Elves. He was trying to kill... I think he realised that the Witch Elves were quite a valuable unit, and they were basically, you know, causing a lot of his units to rampage and, of course, get into bad situations. So he was trying to kill them very quickly. These Questing Knights are almost about to rout, though. And I do see his Damsel of Life here. So I'm like, okay, go, get the Damsel of Life. I do get a nice hit on her. But he does see this as well. But the Damsel of Life is taking a lot of damage. But he does cast an Earthblood on her just to keep her alive again. And luckily she does outrun it. I do send the other War Hydra. I'm like, come on, fucking get her. But luckily, no, he does get the Law of Life, the Damsel of Life away. But he sends King Lewin again. He's killing my Dread Spears over here with all these units. Pretty good play. Just making sure to get, you know, all my units off when I'm spread out. These Hargonef Executioners still fighting against these Spearmen-at-Arms. They've just been doing so much. 256 kills. Doing so much work. Witch Elves over here are faltering though. They're down to 20 mon models. King Lewin back in the air. The Green Knight on full health basically. But I've still got Felheart here. He does charge into Felheart here. And I do believe I pop... Yes, I pop Deadly Onslaught. And I put the Deadly Duelist in. So I've got melee defense. But King Lewin, I think, does, yeah, he pops all his buffs as well. So it was kind of a bit of a, you know, ability fight here. I sent the Carapace back onto King Lewin because I thought, Jesus Christ, I need to keep him alive. Balance of power still in my opponent's favour a little bit here. He was playing really well. But I'm really trying to, you know, keep him alive as best as possible. I believe I do get some nice damage on King Lewin here. Carapace, yeah, Carapace still pushing on King Lewin. But the Green Knight, he's just tanking everything I've got. And I do win this fight over here with my Hargonef Executions. They start, you know, basically making all these units rout off, which is doing really well. King Lewin does get away though, which is pretty annoying for me. But Felheart's in a bit of a bad situation here. The Green Knight is just hunting him down, and the Green Knight will just win against Felheart any day, unless he's on his Maelstrom, which is the dragon. But yeah, I sent the Carapace yet again onto the Mage of Life, and I get some nice damage, but it's just not enough. I just don't see... You see, the thing is, I had to make a choice here. I could either protect the Felheart from the Green Knight with my Dread Spears and the Carapace, or I could just try and get rid of his Damsel of Life. Because if I get rid of the Damsel of Life, then I actually might have a chance of winning this. But unfortunately, here, my Hydra does die over here. We unfortunately did miss that, but the Hydra does go down to his Spearmen and all the units back here, and that means his Peasant Bowmen are just back online. They've still got a bit of ammunition, so they're still firing in here at my Hargonef Execution, so it's doing some really nice damage. But the Green Knight, he's still trying to hunt down my my Lord, so it's just really, really scary. But I send the Carapace back in, trying to get some damage on the Green Knight, but the Green Knight just tanks this. I mean, just unless you have magic damage, the Green Knight will just tank so much. I mean, granted, we're doing good damage, but then again, the Green Knight comes in, gets a really horrible hit on Felheart, and I'm so worried at this point. You know, Felheart's getting some, you know, serious damage on him. But yet again, we get the Green Knight sort of tanked in here. We've got a load of like units on him, tar pitting him down. I'm trying to protect my Lord at all costs here, but he's got the Peasant Bowman still shooting in. Really, really scary stuff. He sends the Green Knight out. I'm still trying to keep this massive blob alive here. But I think, yeah, as you see, King Lewin just flying around. Didn't really have much to do with him. He then sends the Questing Knights in. Of course, I think they get a rear charge here. Yeah, they get a nice rear charge there. I see, the thing is, I'm just fighting for my life right now, trying to keep Felheart alive at all costs, because if Felheart goes down, then everything else goes down. But yeah, still tanking. I do see his mate, he's fucking teasing me with that, you know, Damsel of Life here. Every single time, he's just teasing me with it. I was trying to keep all my units alive here. I was trying to keep, you see, he baits me again. I just keep going away. I can't chase down any of his units here, but eventually he does run out of ammo. I mean, the Green Knight could just fucking, I mean, it's unbreakable as well, I do believe. The Green Knight is unbreakable, so literally he could just sit in this forest here. I mean, Green Knight could probably win this on his own, to be honest. But as I say, we do make another men-at-arms unit rout off, which was really nice. So the leadership was really working here. I really did like this sort of leadership strategy against the Bretonnia. But he sends in his Peasant Bowman here just to try and finish me off. I send in the War Hydra and Failheart to try and rout these guys off as quick as possible. But he is coming in the back with his Questing Knights to get a nice rear charge. And at this point, I just thought, well, we might as well just have a massive tar pit here. Just fight this out as best as possible. Does send the Questing Knights away. But the Green Knight comes in, trying to get on Failheart. And Lewin comes in. I'm popping my buffs as well. He's popping all his buffs against here. And it's just becoming a massive fight here. The Carapace is really trying to tackle as much as possible here. But, I mean, it just isn't going to hold off. I mean, Failheart is just taking so much damage. He's so low. His leadership's dropping. Sending in the Damsel of Life here just to really finish it off. The Carapace still trying to tank. But unfortunately, Failheart does rout off. And, of course, when he routs off, Carapace is as well. And, unfortunately, I lost. Really, really well played though to Monkeybot. It was an extremely fun game. Very, very close. I did really enjoy it. I do believe if I swapped out the other War Hydra and got some more cavalry, I think it would have been a different game. I think the reason I took the War Hydra is because I thought, okay, well maybe his slowing attacks and his Frost Breath would actually be. I thought his Frost Breath would actually do more to the Green Knight, but unfortunately it didn't. And I think the Green Knight, you know, the Green Knight would have been a problem to the end. I think even if I killed King Lewin, Green Knight probably would have been able to take on like easily the Carapace and maybe the Dread Spears as well. So that, you know, that was well played to him. But of course, I think against Bretonnia, you've just got to prepare for the Green Knight because he's just such a good meta pick. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.